And notification should be dropping. Hello, everybody. We're live. It's another Friday night sidekick. And they're like, who's a sidekick? That's my sidekick. And hopefully I'm her sidekick. And it is Heather's had a long day today. She's happy. It's a whole bundle. We finally got our very first couch that we have owned um in over like 15 years, almost 20 years. And so we just put it together, finished it today. And so it feels good. Things are coming together that way here. So just been a very busy past couple days putting that together, especially with two people with physical limitations getting on the floor, trying to figure out these nuts and screws and bolts and everything. But anywho, it's a couch and we love it. And I got a new deck I came across today that I'm going to be, well, I can just go ahead and share it now. I found this today at a local grocery store. We have a place called Shopping Cart, and we kind of call it like the granola store because they sell, organic, vegan, cruelty-free raised meats, crystals, incense, decks, and I found this on the shelf today. I could not believe it. I've been wanting this deck for a couple of years now, and so Shan's like, go get it. I'm like, yes. So I got a new deck. I can do a pop-up later on, maybe this weekend, and share. And if you don't mind, Allison, I'm just going to jump in because it's been one hell of a week. But just really quick, Nancy was here to wait for us. Waiting for
Hi.
us. So good evening, Heather and Allison. And I also just let everybody know that we do have a topic tonight, and that's about the topic of stagnation, lack of movement in our lives, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all levels. So we're looking forward to having this conversation. And oh my goodness, Tom is on time. Hello, Tom. Early Rituals here. Janet Lee, Maruta, Shelby. Alrighty. So yeah, right now too, still getting settled here. My it's crazy how 4 weeks ago some of my information was put in wrongly in one of the in the counseling company or group or whatever you want to call providers that I'm with, and come to find out after working for 4 weeks with a new therapist and building a connection with her and that sense of security, they're telling me I may have to let go of her now because, oh, your insurance doesn't cover her. I what? So I'm keeping positive energy in the universe that this will be all worked out and it will be all figured out. Um, but yeah, since last Friday, because I had to take off last week, some really cool stuff I want to share. Some of you might have already heard about some of this on Monday's show and with my show with Gerald yesterday, which we had a nice turnout. We talked about art. I got a couple new subscribers, so thank you for the new subscriptions. Wonderful conversation about art. And talking about art, I'll just go into this. I found, and Allison's going to love to hear about this too. I found a company here in Ashland called Natural Earth Paints. And check this out, it is a woman owned and operated art supply company located here in Southern Oregon, created by a professional artist, mom, and environmentalist, which I believe I met. That was Marika. NEP uses pure natural earth pigments and organic ingredients to make completely safe, sustainable, and high quality supplies for children and artists. And so for every shipment, they donate to One Tree Planted. It is vegan, it is certified organic, it is fully recyclable, it's non-toxic, no animal byproducts in their brushes or nothing. This company is 100% cruelty free and environmentally safe, and tiny little company. I found them. They were right around the corner from my counseling people, and just I ended up buying a tube to test out. They're going to cost a little more. Well, they kind of like cost around what a golden paint would be. The higher quality, heavy body paint. So this was, I think, $13.95, but it's a heavy paint. They were telling me they use things like soy, so it's plant based. It's still archival. It's a quality art product. They're eco friendly. They're light fast, and people don't know what light fast means. Is that certain colors, depending on the company and the pigments used, colors in a work of art or a painting over time will fade, especially exposed to certain amount periods of light. And so um, companies that use a higher, better pigment to make their light fast will cost a little extra. Well, they cost about the same, except they're completely cruelty again, eco-friendly, and they have excellent light fastness. And I met Marika, I met Ian, and they looked at some of my artwork. They're the only ones here in Ashland that I introduced myself as an artist to another fellow artist store that actually asked, well, let me see your work, welcome, And so they took a look, and Ian's like, definitely need one of your paintings here in the store. So it's a small space right now. They're expanding, which is great. They do have a website, and if anybody is an artist or wants to invest in a company that actually cares about the environment and cruelty free products, Natural Earth Paints. They have things for kids paints, for face painting, egg coloring, kids crafts. They sell their pigment separately and along with the mediums. If you want to make your own oil paints, if you want to make your own watercolor, they carry everything. And even their brushes are bamboo. The bristles are not from animals. It's just their vegan bristles. I mean, it's just fabulous. So if anyone could support this company in any way, that would be amazing. So very excited about that. And a store that we came across about a week and a half ago is a little place in Ashland called the Book Exchange. And if you do come to visit Allyson, I gotta take you to the store. You just walk in and it smells like a bookstore. You can smell the books. They have new books, they have old books, and I actually found Drawing Down the Moon by Margot Adler. You do not see these authors anymore on the shelves in the stores. They all have to be like purchased through a Amazon or like a website. And these are like authors that were there at the beginning, really, or at the forefront of when Wicca and witchcraft and paganism, Druidry, the environmentalism, feminism, the goddess worship were all coming really more into the mainstream. And Margot Adler, along with Starhawk, DJ Conway, Reisler, Z Budapest, they were all there when I was a young girl. And so, well, young girl in my 20s. So it's amazing to find an original copy. So, because they sell used and new, and they also sell collectibles and rare. So if somebody is looking for a certain book that's rare or collectible, let me know, and I can always stop by this store. The ladies are wonderful that run it. So I found the Drawing Down the Moon I'm starting to read again. 21st Century Wicca came out in 98. This has so far been a really good book. I love this one. This is by Jennifer Hunter. And Marcella Lobos. And if her name sounds familiar, she's actually worked with Colette Baron Reed on one of her decks, The Mystical Shaman. And she has her own book called Awakening Your Inner Shaman. And so I have these wonderful books that I've been reading. Wonderful, paint company. I got a new deck today. Did I already say that? Yes, I did. I got the Talisman Oracle. So, yeah, it's been one hell of a week. And so let me just really quick Let's see. Shelby, yes. Definitely will look them up. Thank you. And like I said, they do ship. And for all the shipments, they donate to that tree plant. They do have a website. So if you go to their website, it explains how they give back and how they donate. And they're actually moving um, across the way into a bigger building. And I talked to them about, are you going to be doing like workshops or classes? And she said yes. I told her about this intuitive painting workshop I've been wanting to do for the last 10 years, but there really wasn't much interest because a lot of people were afraid of creating their own painting. They wanted to do a paint and sip where they copy the artist, the person stand up and everyone paints the same picture. And so she said, that sounds very interesting. Get back to me a little bit later so I have time to kind of work up a plan, a guide, or like an itinerary, whatever you want to call it, to be able to submit to her once they move over into the bigger location. So just really, really amazing. And let's just see really quick, and then I'll hand it over to Allyson because I haven't really talked much to Allyson this week. She's been a busy lady. So get caught up on what she's been up to. And so we said hello to Janet. Oh, and Janet, you have that deck. Yes. I've seen Bobby do a flip through. I've seen Selena. I believe Selena has it. It's just really a very cool deck. And Shelby just got back from an evening walk. That's nice. Walking is good. And let's see, on time ritual. Reporting for duty. So, and yeah, just really quick witch deck. Nancy the Talisman Oracle. I sent you a picture on Facebook Messenger. And what's really cool is if you want to, they include a little packet inside of vellum so that you can like trace over the cards and you can create your own talismans from that way too, which is pretty cool. Oh, Nalani's here. Hello, Hypnicity. That's Hypnicity, everybody. And reconnected with her from a lot of people still didn't realize I had switched channels. So I got 10 new subscribers again. Beth Aspasia Rising, she will be popping in again. I'm looking forward to seeing Beth. And we have Nalani. And just had a really wonderful conversation about art and color yesterday. A lot of people were involved in the conversation. So it was really nice. It went well. Let's see. It always astounds me, Maru, how bad people can be at their jobs. Yeah, I mean, it was one small insight, but for 4 weeks, it took them to catch that they weren't taking my insurance. So if they allow me to stay with her, it'll be $5 a week. But because there are other counselors 20 minutes away from me in Medford that do take the insurance, they may make me have to give her up and go to, which isn't right, but hopefully things will work out as they should. It's called Natural Earth Paints. Natural Earth Paint. So that's the name, Shelby. I can also type it into a little bit later. They have a website. Oh, I'm not a mod, so I can't post a link. If one of my mods can do that, that would be wonderful. Can't quite do that right now with um, my phone and the internet. We've been having wonky internet again, they say it's not because of the fires. We got approximately 14 kind of fires going on around us. They're contained. They're not threatening us, but it still breaks my heart to know the wildlife and the earth, going through what it's going through. But a lot of men and women are working hard. Even young people are getting involved and going out and doing what they can. So that's wonderful. And oh, there we go, Shelby. Wonderful. Thank you, my dear. So yes, and go check out the show with Gerald and I yesterday. We had a really wonderful conversation. Everybody in chat was so involved with the conversation. It was really wonderful. So thoroughly enjoyed that. And already, I believe I am caught up. And so I'm going to give it over to Allyson and see what she's been up to.
Really quickly, I noticed there's this new thing in the
Okay.
chat.
Okay.
The little purple crown.
Oh, There's a purple crown.
Yep.
I don't see it
Next to
in my
every
chat.
single person. Every single person has a purple crown next to it. Some say number 3, some say number 2, some say number
I don't see that
1.
on in the StreamYard chat, so I wonder what that is. Does anybody know?
I'm on, and this is me watching the live from my iPad. So this is not on
Hmm,
the streaming service. Um,
interesting. Well, if anybody knows that, that'll be
and then Tom says
oh,
YouTube ranks us as chatters now. Tom has
yeah,
no number next to him, and neither does Maru. But everybody,
that's
well, I
interesting.
shouldn't say everybody. Like Janet has one, Maru has one, or no, she doesn't. I'm sorry.
No, Maruta
Janet,
should have one.
Moon
Her and Tom.
Fox. Oh, oh, but you
Yeah,
know what? Tom does earlier up higher. So I don't know. I don't know what it is.
that's weird.
Like with Tom, he did have it and now he doesn't have it. So I don't know what it is.
I don't either, but YouTube, knock it off.
Yeah, it's like a
We
little
don't need that.
crown. Well, we don't know what it means though.
I think it's the ranking. Yeah, the more comments, the higher the ranking. So they're constantly see again. It's another competition. In a way.
They
I
are
mean,
rewarding spamming, honestly. Yeah, I'm kind of
I
over YouTube in general.
I know this is ridiculous. Yeah, yeah. They're rewarding spamming. Honestly, yeah. Stop it, YouTube. All of my chatters, I appreciate and everything. So it doesn't matter who's got the most. All my mods are wonderful. All my chatters are wonderful. So yeah. Amanda has it on her channel. Now, when you say Amanda, do you mean Empress Amanda or Amanda Mama Sushi? There's something called XP. Click. Nah, I don't need to do that. It's all about competition again. Let's see. Whoops. Hypnicity said it's an engagement monitor of some sort. Yeah, it's no. No. That's why I'm looking forward to getting my laptop at some point within the next year, so that I can go and download that EV Mux that Steven uses, because I don't think they do stuff like that, and I like them better. I think than much better than Streamyard. So at some point I won't have to, unless they still do that no matter what. Because if you're on YouTube, no, yeah, they're still going to do that no matter what streaming service. Shoot. So there's no way of getting away from that. Unless there's some way you can block it and take it off. He would know if there's some way to remove it. Okay, bye, Gerald. Thanks for popping in, and thank you again for a wonderful show yesterday. And I've been enjoying that pop up video. I started watching some of that today. So, very cool. Let's see. Alrighty. So, okay. Back to Allyson. Everybody gets a crown. A crown for you. A crown for you. Everyone gets a crown. Sorry. Okay.
Um what what?
What? Well, I'm opening up to you.
Oh, what
You
did
share.
this week was just more of the same of the last couple of weeks. I'm taking care of things that need to be taken care of. Lots of organizing, sorting through, getting rid of, cleaning, taking care of my dogs, baking for my man,
Mm.
running some errands, did a couple more sewing projects. Um, what else? Just busy bee.
I'm excited for my sewing projects that are coming to me at some point. So, yay! Can't wait to get those. They look amazing. Let's see. Tom said, "Whoops." Tom said someone had it removed a month or two ago, but I don't think there really is an option going forward. Oh, okay. Oh, wait a minute. So she explained, go to settings and select privacy. In the live chat section, toggle off the leadership board by selecting turn off leaderboard participation. Okay, so then when we're done here tonight, I'll go in and I'll do that. And what about the rest of us, Allison? We want some baking.
Tom, as much as that sounds desirable and all of that, shipping baked and I know you're joking, or maybe you're not joking.
No, I don't think
Shipping
he is.
baked products just does not work out unless you're sending something like rock candy or a fruit cake, things that people don't really want because everything falls apart. I've sent things to my son like as soon as it was ready to go, and it goes out immediately and whatever. And
Oh.
stuff just does not travel well. Yeah, joking on depending on what you're
But
making.
Tom, I
I
hear she makes a
do,
mean
and the
peanut butter
stuff,
pie.
a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the stuff that I do is yeah, well, I don't know. Everything I
You send
do is
first.
from scratch, so it does go quickly, but it depends on what it is. But I do mostly cookies and muffins, but that's just because that's what Anthony prefers. Um, Cupcakes, cake, pie, all that stuff. Pumpkin
Yeah.
pie is his favorite thing overall, but we're not doing that this time of year. So, plus it's been too hot. I've actually done a couple of no bake things for him recently because it's just too hot.
Yeah.
We are having beautiful weather today and yesterday though. It was only like 74, which
Ooh.
is gorgeous and no humidity, but before that we were having, and we're about to again, anybody that knows, Michigan's very humid in the summer, unfortunately, and
Yeah.
it's like a lot of places that have been projected to be, we're having a hot summer. So
Yeah.
these 2 days that have been very nice and cool were a huge
Hashtag.
reprieve. My son is in Spain right now. He leaves tomorrow. Then he'll be going back
Lucky
to
him.
London for about 4 or 5 more days, and then he'll be flying back home, or
Sweet.
back to California where my ex-husband lives, and then like 3 days later he's flying here to me, and he'll be here
Oh,
for like 3 weeks or so, and then
nice.
he'll finally go back to Arizona, and then school starts just a few days after he gets back. So
Yep. August. And let's see, we had Shay join us. That's Magic by Moonlight. Hello, Shay. It's good to see you. And Shelby said, I had beautiful weather today. It was so nice. I hate how it's so hot and you have to stay inside. For here, at least the heat, I mean, last week we were between 95 to 100. Um, and then one day I think we here pushed into 102, but at least there's no humidity. So at least, I mean, I couldn't imagine that kind of heat with humidity. So we were lucky, lucky break on that. So, but yeah, we're supposed to go down to a cooling. We're supposed to be 80s, and then I think a day or two of 70 something. Like you. But then back up again. So Shay says, face melting heat here. Yeah, the whole country is getting hit, even globally. I mean, the temperatures are rising. Even Jackie in Ireland, she says, Great Britain is cooking. We're
this
burning
is
up
a
here.
hot summer
Mm-hmm.
globally. It's
Yep.
supposed to be theoretically anyways, the hottest one in, I don't remember how long, but it's supposed to be much hotter than usual. And that sounds like it's pretty much for everybody.
Yeah, and I agree, Shelby. At least here we have a park called Lithia, and because of the water and all the foliage, not yeah, foliage of the trees and stuff, it creates nice little pockets of you know, coolness where you can shade where you can go and cool off, when it gets really hot. So, but yeah, straight out, there's a lot of reasons why too. We're still dealing with foliage, tomato. So it just make it harder sometimes for the animals to cool down or to keep the fires you know, from hitting. So it's just something that I gotta start getting used to here, um, living in this area with the fires. So, but yeah. So Allison had an idea tonight for a conversation, and it's about stagnation and the lack of movement physically. I know that you wanted to speak about, and I said, there's other forms of stagnation too, emotionally and spiritually. But I'm just gonna, let you take over and share what you wanted to share tonight about that, like
Sure.
the physical.
Heather asked me if I had any topic or whatever, and often I say no. I can't think of anything because I just don't. But it came to me right away, and really, it was the word I said was movement. It was about movement, and the lack thereof, and so without, and I'm not going to go on a big rant about it at all. I could, but I'm not going to because I just don't want to deal with how that goes. So, but um, how do I go into this? It's very important, and I think we all know this. This is probably really more of a reminder, I guess, really for everybody that needs to hear it. And hopefully, a lot of you don't need to hear this, but probably somebody in your life does. We as a people have just a lot of people, like I can think in my own life, and if you would like to do this, I encourage you to think about this. Have people in my life that um, have gotten very, very sedentary, like extremely. And one of the very basic things of being a human and surviving is to move around,
Mm-hmm. Mobility. Yeah.
to go outside, to walk. And that sounds so blatantly obvious. I know people in my life that the whole day will go by and they don't even go outside.
Wow.
I encourage
Not me.
people without even like making a change, count how many steps you take in a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are
Go touch
people that are
grass.
taking a shockingly low number of steps. When you don't go outside at all, your vitamin D, especially in the summer and the spring when the sun is absolutely there, your vitamin D just continues to plummet, which you need. We also need the sun. A lot of people use the excuse of, oh, the sun and da da da. It's fine to get sun. It really is. You just don't overdo it and you don't go out when it's super hot and you can walk in the shade and get filtered light. But really, the main thing is just move, get up and move. We have a cleanup system in our body. Most of you have at least heard of it, and hopefully you know what it is, and better yet, you know how it works. Your lymph system. And there is no pump. The pump for it to work, and its job is to pull the toxins out of your tissues and of your body. The pump is walking, it's moving your body. And when you don't, you get a buildup of inflammation, you hold water in the body, and it's toxic.
Yeah.
Like it's a slow death. It's bad news, and it's very, very common. I heard or I saw a bumper sticker, and it said, what did it say? Sitting is the new smoking.
Oh wow.
Sitting is the new smoking. Meaning, I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
We all know, I can't even believe people didn't know at the time. It seems so ridiculous and obvious to me, but that smoking is horrifying for your health, and it's saying that the same thing about sitting. And a lot of people, their jobs, I mean, I had a sitting job for 7 years. I was home, I was doing training over the phone. This was after my personal fitness training for years, and I had to consciously get up between calls and walk and pace and go outside and all of that because I just, I knew, but I mean, a lot of people don't. That's fine. People can do whatever they want. I'm just saying, it's like I think a lot of people don't even like are doing it and don't even realize that they're doing what I'm describing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like sitting for hours and hours and hours, or sitting there watching TV, or sitting there looking at their computer, or playing a game, or whatever they're doing, or I don't know,
Yeah, I touch all
staring
three
out
of
the
those.
window. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, whatever people are doing. And it's like, it's it's really, really, really bad to do that.
And I
It's
know
really
Tom,
bad.
I'm not throwing you under the bus, Tom, but Tom, works from home and he's got computers and stuff all day. And he mentioned in chat that he hasn't been outside yet today. So if we can get outside and get some fresh air, Tom, that would be great.
Something else that people can do, most of us have an iPhone. You
Mm-hmm.
do have a tracker on your phone. If you have an iPhone, there's a health app. All you got to do is plug in some basic information. It automatically keeps track of how many steps you take
Right.
while you have your phone. So, like if you go for a walk, I wear an iWatch, and I have my phone as well. So, but you don't have to even do that. You can just have your phone. Your phone tracks how much you move. And a lot of people, and I get it, there's some people that, as a result of other things, they can't even go for a walk now, and maybe there's other reasons. I'm not going into that. And please, just this is just, let's keep it into context here. It's just
Mm-hmm.
talking about, the average individual is more than capable of getting up and going for a walk. And that's all I'm suggesting and encouraging. And it doesn't even have to be a walk, but because of how our lives are compared to, what it used to be, where you had to maintain your yard, and if you had a farm, and whatever, earlier
Mm-hmm.
life. But now with all these conveniences, people are getting more and more and more sedentary.
Mm-hmm.
So many people do not go and make it a point to, that's another thing, walking is now considered exercise. Do you know how crazy that is? Walking is just something you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
You're a human
When I was younger, it wasn't
being.
called exercise. Yeah, I remember that.
And it's like, and I'm not saying you have to, eh, I wouldn't even worry. So some people do steps. Me personally, I go by time. Like I walk my dogs and all that and whatever, but like I go out the door and I go for a walk. I walk for an hour and then I come home.
Wow, an hour. I wouldn't make an
And it's
hour these
beautiful,
days.
especially right now, the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Well, oh, if it's too hot, go to bed earlier, get up earlier and get outside when it's beautiful. And it's so easy to go for a walk. I'm not even talking about the pace. I just mean walking. You don't have to go
Mm-hmm.
on an incline. You don't have to, just move.
Where I'm at, when you go walking, pretty much almost everything's an incline. Because you've been here, you know how up,
Fine.
down.
Great.
Yeah,
So you do the incline,
it's fun.
and you
Yeah.
pause if you have to and whatever. And you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to. I'm not talking about you. I just
Yeah.
mean in general. It's
Yeah.
like my sister, I love her to death, but it's like she doesn't, she's a perfect example of what I'm talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna shorten her life. It already is.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, that's my whole thing. And yeah, and then Heather was saying, oh, 'cause when I texted her and she's like, movement, do you mean in your life or in general? And I was like, well, yeah, honestly, yeah. I mean, because that bleeds over into all areas. Make movement,
Mm-hmm.
make progress, do,
Yeah.
don't waste your time on this planet. You know, how many of us are, not doing
What's up,
whatever?
Steven? Yeah.
So,
Steven popped in to say hi.
and it's just like, I mean, yeah, you could take that as big as you want to take it. Are you doing what you wanted to do? A lot of us wanted to do something, then we didn't end up doing it. Maybe it's just because it changed
Yeah.
course, your life went another direction.
Mm-hmm.
Are you living your full potential? Are you working on growth? Are you doing anything productive? Are you, whatever that looks for us individually, doing a lot of reflection right now. And it's just I think it's really, really important,
It
especially
is.
when, for those of us who are walking this spiritual walk talk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
And Shelby had mentioned earlier when she goes out for a walk, she doesn't even take her phone. She wants to
Right.
be in the moment.
Yep.
And the walking helps us,
Same.
it goes into other aspects. We know when we
Yep.
walk or we get at least fresh air and get the sun that improves our emotional health. It helps improve our mental health, and it helps us connect spiritually. No matter what we believe spiritually, is still all around, evolves around nature at some point. And so when you disconnect and you completely cut yourself off from that and just live, inside or in a dark cave, sometimes, when I first met Shan, he had to sleep in the afternoons and he had to have those closeout lights. And so we always made sure that even though the light wasn't coming into the room, we would go out and at least walk at the park or go walk the dogs at the park or take, this and that. So, and even at this age, even though that's getting harder, we're still making an effort to 2, 3 days out of the week go to the park a certain distance, walk to the spot so that we are moving, that we are getting, like you said, the lymphatic system going, we're getting the air, we're working our lungs. And then on days we don't go to the park, we go to the store and we park a little bit further from the entrance so that we get that movement going around the store and walking and stuff. So I think we only stay in maybe 1 or 2 days of the week without going out, like driving and stuff. But we always make it a point now where we're at, because at the other place it was just too dirty, it was foul, and we didn't really want to go out, where we were living. But now we can go out in the morning, sit, see the sunrise, listen to the animals, smell the fresh air when it's nice and cool. And that has really done wonders in our health already. So each one takes care, of the other. Um, so
And
definitely.
the thing I was going to say is, yeah, when you walk out the door, for me, I just look at the time on my watch and go. And I usually don't have my phone with me, but I want to make sure, because time is weird, right?
Mhm.
Like I've gone days where I'll be gone 40 minutes and it seems like I've been gone the whole hour, so I want to keep track of the time. There's been times where I go well beyond that. I just want to make sure that I go for an hour for sure. Like this morning, I went like an hour 15, and it was because the weather today, like I already said, was gorgeous. I had no problem, and I probably could have gone even further, but I was up late last night, and so my energy was not great, but I still managed to exceed even what I require. And that's the other thing, hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
You don't just go, oh, it's raining, poo, I'm not going to go. It's like you're not going to melt or die if it's raining.
I love going outside and
Also, you
dancing
get
in the
up
rain.
and you go earlier before it gets hot. It's real simple. And, you start out with, if you're not capable for whatever reason, you start out with what you can handle. You will start going longer at
Hmm.
a minute every day. Um, or whatever you can do. But really, the main thing, wherever you are, and again, people can completely ignore this, but it's great advice. It
Hmm.
really is. It's like you got to get up and move. Um, and for the few people that maybe can't, just do what you can then,
Hmm.
I'm a good
And
example of what you were talking about. I was very sedentary when caring for my husband. I lost a lot. Right, but you can always get it back. That's the
hmm.
good thing about the human body. We never stop. I was a personal fitness trainer, and I don't know what your issues are, Nancy, but I had several senior clients, and you can always build muscle. You can build back mobility. You can build up your oxygen. You can everything. The human body just keeps on going. Now, if you've got, I don't mean Nancy, whoever, if you've got
Hey,
like a
Beth.
bad knee or a bad hip or this or that or whatever, it is limiting, but you can still
Hmm.
do things if you want to. And just saying, oh, it's too difficult or oh, it's whatever, well, that's an individual choice. And sometimes you got to get creative. And that's another thing, this spiritual thing too, just to pull back on this a little bit. It's like this is our vehicle while we're here that
Yep.
houses our soul, right? And
Hmm.
you are supposed to take care of it. And just check in with that. Where are you with that?
Oh wow. Um, Beth has joined us. So Beth, glad that you stopped by yesterday. You found out about the new channel. I thought you did. And so Shelby says she does love this advice because it's true. A little goes a long way. And she said just a few seconds ago in chat that she's up to 15 to 20 minutes a day for her walks. And she goes, when she can, she'll try to go a little bit longer, but 15 and 20
Awesome.
minutes is awesome. And Nancy says that she does do chair yoga, so she's doing
That's
movement.
great. Wonderful.
And
Yep.
Beth said, I teach yoga and try to walk my dog about 3 miles a day if it's not too damn hot. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. And same here. I still, so again, everybody's different. I walk my dogs. I don't keep track of that. Don't even pay attention to it. Right. Both of them separate, whatever, all day. And so that there's that too, right? That's happening as well. But yeah, anything, any kind of movement, activity, like Nancy's saying, the chair yoga, fabulous. Hopefully you get a chance to do it outside a little bit too before it gets too hot. That's a good thing too. Maybe you're already doing
Mm-hmm.
that. I have no idea. But it's an epidemic, you guys. It's
Yeah.
like with my sister, it makes me really sad
Yeah.
because it's like she's not even 60. It's like I will be walking until I'm 90 or older. It's like, sorry, the age is not an excuse. It's not. It's
Mm-hmm.
not. It's not. It's the physical, it's the mental, it's just doing it. It's all of it. I mean,
Hi, Pam.
age is a number, right? It's the individual. I'd really like to start leaving age out of stuff
Mm-hmm.
because it really doesn't matter. I know people that are 50 that look freaking amazing. And then I know people that are 50 and they look 20 years older than that.
Like me.
It's all
I have put
about
on a lot of
how
weight. Yeah.
they. No, I'm not pointing at anybody. I'm
Oh no, I'm just
saying
saying for me, I know
I can pull
physically
it
I
even
need to do a
back.
lot
You
better.
can you could pick a different age. I'm just saying it's about, and
Mm-hmm.
this is about the people that love us and our animals, and it's not just about us and doing it for us. It's for family, friends, all of that, being around. I have a son. I want to play with my grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be here, and I will. Um
And Beth says, thank you for leaving out age. I'm 70.
yes,
Although
you're
my knee
welcome.
is
It means
messed up
nothing.
now because of Baker's cyst. She goes, it sucks, but even,
I'm
I don't
just
know.
saying your age,
Yeah.
to a degree, it's
Stephen.
it's almost not. uh, it just, anyways, I'm not going to repeat myself. It's yeah.
Wow.
Like my
So,
mom at my age, I look at pictures. I'm 55. I look at pictures of my mom at 55.
mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. And I do look like my mother a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But my
She
mom
does.
smoked. I looked like my mom looked at 40.
And Family says, I'm 63 and very proud.
Good, as I would like us all to be, right? Or and all these men do it too, but have a problem
Stephen.
saying their age, don't want to talk about their age. I am 55. I have no problem saying that. And it's like I wonder, and everybody's different and whatever, and maybe I'm getting slightly off, but it's like so many people have such a
Silence
hard
away.
time talking about
Mm.
their age, and it's like
That's me.
I can't help but wonder if they didn't take better care of themselves, would they have a problem saying how old they were? Because I'm happy where I am. It's like, would I like to be younger?
Wow.
I don't know because I'm happy in my skin. I know more. I've learned and overcome so many different things. Not saying I'm perfect, far from it, blah blah blah. That's not what I'm talking about. It's like I'm I think it's good to be okay with where you are. And
Message for you from
I'm
Beth.
just going to leave it at that.
I'm putting a cabbage poultice on my knee crease to try to reduce the inflammation and brewing fresh basil tea. Because she says she's got something called Baker's cyst in her knees. I never heard of that. But I get that. So she wanted to share that with you. So she's the all natural. Oops. And let's see what says. I still chop. Oh, so he says, so Steven still chops wood at 60.
That's not what he said.
Oh, Ritual Tom, I still have to chop morning wood at 65.
Morning wood is when you wake up with a boner.
Yes, Stephen, I'm gonna.
And you should be very proud. 65, that's awesome.
And Nancy says, "Me too, Allyson. There are perks to growing older, or at least that's how I see
That's
it."
right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I gotta get you back, Stephen. But if that wasn't you, Stephen, then we'd be worried about you. So, yes, Heather, I am easy. I'm over easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning.
Heather just said she was easy.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been told in the past I'm very naive and I'm too trusting and too nice and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, I'm a Commodore son. I'm easy like Sunday morning. Can I say? Um, but yeah, so yeah, um, I already said, when we take care of our health, or when we take any care of our aspects of our health, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, they all balance each other out and they all help and improve one another. So, yeah, I got a lot to work on now that I am here. And let's see, Fallon says, the only problem about being older is when I hear my bones creak a little bit when it's humid. I got rid of the humidity here, but yeah, um, I always tend to overshare. My bad. Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know what else really more to I think for me, because be honest, I went and had to have my weight done about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and of course the clothes were on, so I had to take about 5 pounds off for clothes and sneakers and everything. But I'm at 220, and when I left Arizona at 39, 38, no 38, I was only, well, for me, 170. I still had 20. I always fought get rid of that last 20 pounds. But since I left Arizona and hit my 40s, and I'm not, making an excuse saying that menopause is all behind it, but menopause and other things that have gone on in my life, medication that I have to take for my mental health adds to the weight as well. So for me, the thing that helps me get through stuff, and Alison and I've had this talk, is I gravitate towards food. I've done improvement. There are still times when I like to have certain foods for comfort or for enjoyment, but I have noticed that since I have cut back on the carbs, and we focus mostly on meat now in our diets, along with some vegetables, especially fresh. We live next door to Mercadio, and they have a garden, and they brought us over like 6 zucchinis, the other day. And so we've been, steaming our zucchini. And do we still have Brent stuff? Yeah, but we've noticed that since we've cut back, drinking more water, that, I think I have lost a few pounds. So it's going to be a work in progress. But for me, I was raised in a household where it was like, I don't care if you're full, you finish your plate. And the thing is, and of course, as a kid, you get all that energy, you're running it off and you work it off. And it wasn't until I hit puberty around 13, 14 that I noticed that the weight was starting. And I didn't put it together until really recently, working with my new counselor. Hi, Selena, my dear. Good to see you. Sometimes our environment can affect our physical health, well, all the physical health that kind of make us deter us wanting to do certain things. Now, I just started putting two and two together that people know that I've talked openly about my mother and how she had really a lot of illness, especially mental illness, and not just saying that and taking like all the blame off her, because there were things that she knew that she was doing. And one of the things that I've just come to recently find out that I have to work through now after all these years is the fact that, you know, the cravings of certain foods, the psychology of wanting to eat when I had to, for protection, from when things were going on in the household. And I don't want to do anything triggering, but with a lot of unhealthy environment situations at home, with her and her partners, and with my father, and the fact that too she had a mental health where um, she didn't want competition from her daughter in her eyes. So I just started realizing that the weight and the extra food that kept being put on my plate and I was being expected to eat was, in fact, to keep me on the heavier side where I wasn't as pretty or I wasn't as physically more, appealing, because that was how my mom, she did not like competition. And after all these years of starting to kind of put that two to two together, so now working through, not only is it, you know, the going to the food for comfort from the bullying, from things that were going on at home, but now putting other things together. It's something that has to I have to work through after what I'm going to be 55 in 5 months. So I'm really trying to make this transition, this relocation, as meaningful as possible. And I think this has given me the opportunity to be able to start addressing all these issues, especially with food, with image, age, and everything. Because my mom was a Leo, and she was very vain, and trying to keep your daughter at an unhealthy, because the minute I got home from Arizona that first time, and without her cooking and having to cut back on what I ate, this girl dropped from, a size, what was I at that time? I think I was a size 15. I dropped down to a size 11. I was getting super thin, and not super thin unhealthy, but I was really looking good. And the minute I got back home, what happened? There came all the food piling on. No, come on, you got to eat this. I made this for you. This, that, and next thing I know, what happens? I'm back up to, the weight that I was. And so from there on, that fluctuating, going back and forth between the foods. And yeah, some people, their addictions are their, alcohol, whether drugs, um, you know, overbuying, sex addiction, all those things. For me, my addictions was the food. I always addressed food with love, comfort, security, enjoyment, peace of mind. So that's a lot of shit to work through to get back to. Hopefully I can reverse some of the damage that I've the rest of the women in my family, especially my sister. Oh psh, yeah, like Allison says, my sister's way off. I don't even talk to them anymore. So but yeah, food as guilt, food as not, I don't say punishment, but as as manipulation, Sue. So there are so many factors when it comes into our physical health, our mental health, our spiritual. And again, YouTube, this is for entertainment purposes only. I am not diagnosing anybody. I'm just simply sharing my personal experiences and how I'm starting to connect the dots and see things that I haven't seen before, or starting to be able to face them and work on them. And so, yeah, it's going to be quite the challenge. And not just mothers, talk to the dads. So, yeah. But for me, Shelby, it was my mom. And let's see, Tom says, mine died when I was too young to damage me, other than by dying. Well, Tom, that I can't imagine losing a mother at that age, that young, because at that age, I was very close to my mother. I had no idea what was going on in with her and the family dynamic, and with my dad, and also there was that naivety. There was, I would say naivety, not in like a I was being, it was just at a young age, you don't know what's going on until you find out later on, and then by the time. Um, but yeah, that I can't imagine, Tom. And I know you said that you lost your dad too. My mother stayed around long enough to work her magic. What does that mean, Tom? Does that mean to be able to inspire you and to help you with life and giving you? Um, so, Tom, did your mom introduce you to magic, or just giving you the sensation of magic of being alive, of being a mom? Um, oh, to do her damage is what I meant by that. Oh, okay, Tom. Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're getting at. So, I'm really sorry to hear that. Um, Mothers are great at damaging kids, and my dad did it. My dad played a role in it too. He was hurt, and he took his hurt and anger out on me because for him that's all he knew. And but then again, I had a dream that him and I met each other at the light, and this was about 10 years ago, and we were both crying. We hugged each other. I told him I was sorry, and he told me he was sorry, and that relationship has been healed. So it still hurts to remember, and and Shan's been great with me with this because there are times when he might say something and not realize how he's saying it, or doesn't think there's really anything wrong with saying what he did the way he did. But for me, and it's not to be mean to me, it's just it would automatically trigger something that my dad would say, or if emotion would be triggered, and how I would know remember how my mom would act a certain way. So for all of this, it really again takes into account how we treat ourselves physically and what motivates us to take care of ourselves physically, to get out there, to be outside, to be seen, to be, to get ourselves out of that comfort zone. And again, environmental, all these, connect to one another. They all affect one another. And I think this was a great topic that Allyson brought up for tonight, because we can all, kind of start maybe journaling or looking at what areas in our life can we start moving energy in to get us flowing and that we don't stagnate, whether it's physically, whether it's spiritually, emotionally. Are we still stuck at a certain age? Are we still stuck at a certain, place in our life emotionally? What kind of baggage are we still holding on to? All of that affects us. Also, I think Allyson would agree that when we have those kind of emotions, that creates the cortisol in our bodies. That's not healthy for us, and that it adds weight on too. Would that be safe to say that you would agree with that, Allyson?
Well, cortisol causes I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but yeah, high cortisol levels will contribute, just
To
like
weight gain?
eating poorly and not moving
Yeah.
will.
So we all, we all interact. And Shelby says, it is a great topic. I love it. And Shelby says, my parents divorced. I was with my dad, and he was drinking heavily at that time. Yeah, when my mom left my dad, he started drinking, and that was sad to see. He let himself go until it was too late, and but at least they got back together to work things out at the time being. Um, Fanima says, I was lucky because since I was young, I looked at food as a necessity for survival. That is why I was always thin. Then, when I went through menopause, I blew up to 150 pounds. Oh, Fatima, honey, I wish I was 150 right now, but I understand. Yep. Some people say, you should um, eat to live, not live to eat. Is that the right way of saying it? You live, you eat
You
to
eat to live.
live, and not live to eat. Yeah. And Stephen had to go, so Stephen, bye bye. Thank you for hanging out. Stephen, I'm
And
sure
the
it's probably
food is a whole nother thing. I mean, I didn't even go into that. We've talked about that, or I have talked about that enough. I won't be saying anything else about food. But yes, that does contribute. And this was for me anyways, this wasn't about weight and all that kind of stuff. It's just about We're human beings. You're supposed to move around. You're not supposed to sit around
Mm-hmm.
and stagnate and
Yep.
die a slow death.
Yep. Well, if anyone, let's see, Selena, cortisol increases, and so does the weight. Stress, medical conditions, meds, heck, not getting enough sleep
A lot can
increases your
contribute to
cortisol
it.
levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to be talking medical because, yeah, I'm just not talking medical.
And because I know Selena's got a lot of stuff going on too that she shares quite a bit, so I totally get that. And her working, Selena, I don't know how you do sometimes the 12-hour shifts at home at work and then doing your schoolwork. Thank goodness you got that beautiful Darla to go take out on walks in that beautiful backyard. So what is beautiful with Selena is that she's got this beautiful acreage at her home in the country. So she's done she goes out and walks, and you get to see that, and that's beautiful that you have that. I'm working now, took a nap and went, oh my goodness. And Beth says, health comes first. The body weight that's good for you will follow. Okay. And I took a nap and woke up. So you're back to working. Wow, girl, I know how you do it. So we are at 6:02. Was there anything else you want to touch upon tonight?
Mm-mm.
No? Unless somebody else has anything in the chat. I know some of us are still, just going to ask how the new channel is coming along. Have you had any opportunity to start working on it? Because a lot
No,
of
I
people are
haven't
still
done
waiting for it.
anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I'll let you guys know whenever it happens. I've been doing everything that I mentioned earlier.
Alrighty, so gonna go mod for Bobby Boo. Okay, enjoy. Thank you, Maruta, for hanging out and modding for me and hanging out with us. That's greatly appreciated. So, now Stephen usually goes on at around this time or another half hour. Are you going to be joining him for his next tarot session? Oh, there goes the notification.
I
30
am.
minutes. Okay. So let's see. Beth says, Heather, are you all unpacked tarot decks and everything? The tarot decks, yeah. Certain boxes, no, just because it's going to take a while to afford, furniture. And then the parting of, when you have to order it, having to build it. So I've been trying to keep an eye on around here for anybody that has sales of, furniture already in the stores. But I'm also very cautious about that because of coming from the whole bedbug situation back in New York. So I'm very careful when I go into consignment shops and whatnot to look at things. But yeah, slowly but surely we're getting there. So and I got a wonderful new deck today. So I'll probably be doing a show possibly tomorrow this weekend to share some of the cards with everybody. I'm totally excited about that. And so Shelby's got to get going. And Nancy says, "This was a great discussion, ladies. Thank you. You're welcome, Nancy. Thank you for sharing with us." Beth says, "I have lived in this house for 4 years now. Still not entirely unpacked. Yep. So I hear you. Um, so already, well, in half an hour, everybody head over to Cosmic Orphans channel. Allyson will be his sidekick for his Friday night show. And I think you guys are talking about the Empress this week, if I'm correct. Fool, Mage, and then Empress. So make sure to drop by and say hello.
The High
And
Priestess.
oh, High Priestess. Okay.
High
Oh, that's right.
Priestess.
Bum, bum,
Sorry, I
bum.
was listening but not listening. Yeah, High Priestess comes after the Magician.
And for me, Nancy and I will actually be back on Monday. And we chose the topic this week of working with different, and I'll say deities, with whether or not if they have an intelligence. This could be archetypal energy, but working with different feminine deities or energies at the same time. Kind of like, do you work with different ones? Do they get a well together as part of your spirit team? Or do you only work with one at a time? So that's the conversation that we're going to be having with Nancy on Monday. And then Wednesday, Jackie's Crystal Moon and I will be back for our Holding Court series that we're doing. We will be doing the Knight of Pentacles, and that will be 11 o'clock Pacific time, and that's going to, I'm not sure. And so if it's 11 here, then it will be 11 to 12, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard, which will make it, I think, 7 or 8 o'clock in GMT. So looking forward to getting back to with Jackie again for that. And then Friday again with Allyson. So everybody, thanks for hanging out with us. Beth. Okay, so Beth, it still stays with Nancy at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be 2 o'clock my time, but we're trying to keep it to 5 o'clock so that we can get some of our regulars back that could only make it at that time, especially our friends across the pond. So if anybody sees Hannah, Garnet, anyone that was in the chat before that hasn't been there in a while, just give them a heads up about the new channel. I'll try to go back and do that as well on Indigo Jaguar and leave a notice on the community board as a reminder. And Tom and I also have something in the works. So stay tuned. Tom, gotta let me know when you want to get together for that Lady Frida Harris episode we want to do. So, alrighty. Everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out. Maybe we'll see you in the next chat. Bye, everyone.